Microphone number 4, George.
Hi, George Gonzalez from Kings, EA. Good morning, Senator. Good morning, future Governor of Ohio. Sorry, that was...
No, I really don't want that job. That's very nice of you. Unless you're talking to Pat behind me, I really don't. Anyway, go ahead.
Well then, looking into your crystal ball, what would you, or what do you expect from the elections of 2012, which really is only about 550 days away?
Thanks.
In your county, or you?
Oh, you betcha.
Well, I think the country, clearly in Ohio, clearly around the country, people think this right-wing crowd's overreached. I mean, nobody voted for John Kennedy. 20 people voted for him, but it wasn't 50%, just to remind people. He won legitimately, but it wasn't a landslide or a mandate. But all I heard from John Kasich and other candidates this fall, or last fall, were 400,000 jobs lost, as if President Bush had nothing to do with that, but that's a whole other issue. But nonetheless, we lost. But they talked about 400,000 jobs. They didn't talk about extreme anti-women measures. They didn't talk about collective bargaining rights. They didn't talk about restricting voting rights. They didn't talk about eliminating Medicare as we know it. They didn't talk about cuts to everything from Planned Parenthood to public radio to Head Start to Pell Grants. They didn't talk about any of that. So if they had campaigned on that, that would be one thing. But they didn't. They campaigned on jobs and getting the economy back in shape. And what they're doing at the State House and in Washington has got nothing to do with jobs. It's got everything to do with a political, ideological crusade they're on. So I think 2012 is about pointing that out and making the contrast. If you look at the Ryan budget, and that's Paul Ryan, not Tim Ryan from Northeast Ohio, as you know. Paul Ryan's budget. It's really Newt Gingrich redux. It's more. Let me give you one set of numbers. I don't mean to talk this to death, but in 1992 to 2000, during the Clinton years, we had a higher tax rate for upper income taxpayers, and 21 million net private sector job increase, and wages went up. Bill Clinton left office in 2000 with the biggest budget surplus in American history. 8 years of George Bush, lower tax rates for the rich, deregulation of Wall Street, 2 wars that weren't paid for, and a bailout to the drug and insurance companies in the name of Medicare privatization. 1 million new jobs, not even keeping up with the students that you graduate from our public schools, not even keeping up with the demographic increase in population. 1 million new jobs, wages were flat, and George Bush left, taking the biggest surplus, turned into the biggest budget deficit in American history. Now, understanding these are terrible times, understanding we've got to fight back in terms of making this country better, and we're doing that. But a lot of you teach history, all of you understand history, and you'll learn from it. And this budget that the Republicans want to pass in Washington is, let's try this again, it's more tax cuts for the rich, it's more deregulation of their budget and other proposals, it's continued not to fund, it's staying longer in Afghanistan and Iraq, it's going to put us right back in the same position. And that's why the public's going to get it in 2012. They're going to make that contrast. That's how I'm going to run. It's not center, right, middle, where you sit in politics. It's whose side are you on? And this crowd's not on the side of the public interest, not on the side of public education, not on the side of the middle class, and the voters are understanding it more and more. And by the end of Barack Obama's campaign in 2012 and my campaign in 2012, the voters are going to very loudly and emphatically say, we're going in the direction that Obama and Brown and progressives want us to.